Catchphrases? Who needs them? I don't. I have original thoughts all the time. I don't need to be repeating stuff. Welcome to Very Real Talk, everybody, for another week. I'm your host, Nick Potter, back at it again with my boys, who I'm going to introduce right now. The first boy, his name is Corey Music. I'm switching it up this week. Fuck you, Collin. Get out of here. You were ready. Stay back there.
Hi, I'm Corey Music.
Oh, man.
Corey Music, I got a question for you.
Sure.
How's your week been, man? Like, what's going on?
You know, no one ever asks me that anymore, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, do you not have friends?
No? I mean, my friendship is this podcast.
Oh, perfect. Well, yeah, then I want to know, how's your week been going?
Well, it's
Sounds lonely so far.
Pretty much my only exposure to anything is this podcast so far. So
we got to hang out yesterday when we had a podcast meeting.
We had a meeting. That was again though. My only social life is this podcast. So and then,
That's how I like to keep it.
I worked a couple of days, made some money.
Yes,
Give me some money.
No, we all need money.
Did you have any weird drink requests this week?
No, it was all pretty basic. Like I said, my biggest complaint in the past is people who come up to me and make up bullshit names or complicate a drink. Like, if you order me, can I get a Diet Coke and vodka? I want to give you a Diet Coke and a vodka. That's how you fucking order that, right?
Oh, they ask for a Dr. Manhattan instead of a regular Manhattan, and you have to crack open a glow stick into their drink.
That's put cancer in it.
That's what gives you the cancer.
Or like, some sort of fruit that looks like a huge penis that's coming out of it.
Oh, that cancer doesn't look very fun. And then you put an umbrella, and they're like, nice.
Ooh, fun cancer, my favorite.
Besides and drinks, which I just call like gin and tonic or whatever, what's the most popular drink that people order? Like, is it Manhattans?
No, it's probably old fashions because we're Louisville. That comes up a lot. We have this fancy
mint juleps.
Sometimes during the Derby season, we got the Sweetie Todd, which we call it because all our names are puns on theater and shit. And it's kind of it's like it's a raspberry vodka drink. People get that a lot because they're like, "Ooh, Sweetie Todd, that's close to another name I know. I must have it."
Okay.
The Demon Bourbon of Fleet Street.
Next up, I'm going to talk to... Who is it? Are you guys both ready? Are you both ready? I'm going to go to Collin now.
I thought you were going to go to yourself.
Yeah.
I have a sweet conversation with myself. Collin?
Yeah.
What's your favorite memory of your best friend, Nick?
My best friend, Nick.
That's me, by the way.
Oh.
I was going through my brain. Nicks? Do I know any Nicks?
Yeah, that was another Nick.
I only know Knack.
Well, sorry. We refer to each other as Nick Daddy.
Yeah.
I refer to him as Nick Daddy. He refers to himself as Nick Daddy. It's kind of weird.
That makes it cool.
And that's my favorite memory. No, I'm sure we probably talked about this because we talk about it a lot, but we talked about it today. My favorite memory is being in Chicago when we bought a mix CD from a guy under an overpass.
Yeah, that was a great day.
He screamed at you and asked for a black and mild, and you were like, "No, sir." And then he was like, "Well, what about buy a CD?" And you were like, "Ah." And he was like, $5, and you were like, $2. And he was like, "Okay."
Hell yeah.
And didn't write his name on the CD.
Yeah.
You pop that bitch into the CD player. First thing you hear, someone just manically pushing the air horn button off key.
Off key.
And then it starts.
Not rhythmically.
It starts and it never stops. And it's a beautiful trash fire.
Made that day so much better.
Made that weekend.
We
listened to the entire CD multiple times over the weekend.
If only we would have known his name.
And every time
hitting him up on SoundCloud right now.
He was obviously screaming his name in the songs, but it was totally illegible,
unintelligible.
Unintelligible. I couldn't read it what he was saying. You know?
No lyrics in that jewel case.
No. Like, come on, man! Like, write your name or the album or something in Sharpie. It was just a blank CD. But hey, $2.
Maybe it wasn't even his mix CD.
I was about to say that, Joey. Yes, maybe he just stole it. And since I wouldn't give him a cigarette, and I clearly wasn't going to give him any money for nothing, he was like, the CD.
Well, I will say, just so I don't leave it out, there was a track on the CD, and at the end of the track, there was like a sample of some movie. That was obvious. I don't know what movie it was. But some old man's like, "Man, you can suck my nuts out." Track stops. It takes a second. The next track starts. Ack.
Yeah.
Boom, bong.
Yeah, we don't know how he did that.
How does that even work in
Unless it
modern
was
editing
like-
programs?
Unless it was on purpose. And he was like, maybe that guy's a fucking genius. We don't
I
know.
told this story to a guy, and he said, "Well, what if he did it all in one take?
Yeah, that's what I
He
think.
did the entire album at once, and then just had to cut it up."
Yeah, that's probably what happened. I mean, apparently.
So he would have had to play that sample live.
That's what,
And
yeah.
like hit the air horns, hit all the drum machine, everything.
Oh, did you ever think for a second that maybe he just recorded it like Steppenwolf Theater? Like it was this guy live, and it was just his live album.
Whoa.
And there was just no cheers because it wasn't very good.
And it wasn't in a theater.
I saw this guy back in 2005.
It was under an
He's great.
overpass.
All right. Well, yeah, that's one of my favorite memories with my boy Collin. Now I'm going to move on to the last boy. His name is Me.
Oh.
No, it's my brother Joey.
Hello.
Hi, Joey. Question for you.
What's your worst favorite memory of Nick?
What's your least favorite I don't want to get into that right now. Ugh, Joey's probably has dirt on me somewhere. You're on death row for some heinous crime you've committed, right?
All right.
Going with me with the scenario.
All right.
What's your last meal?
Man, my
Going
last
Panda
meal-
Express?
Yeah, I'm going to Panda fucking Express.
It takes so long to get it, you die.
There's like, we can't wait any longer. I'm sorry. Like, we have a schedule to keep.
I mean, honestly, it had to be some sort of Italian food. Probably just a comical vat of spaghetti, like angel hair,
Yeah.
just like with a nice sauce, you know.
Sauce.
Sauce, not sauce.
Yeah, you know, like just like give me like a bathtub of it.
Yeah, I think that's a totally reasonable, because people are like, oh, steak dinner. You could buy a bathtub and fill it with spaghetti for the same, you could buy a bathtub's worth of spaghetti, I should say, for the same price
Yeah.
as a fancy steak dinner.
Oh yeah, and just pour that sketty on me, baby.
Because what are we talking, like, what do you think would fill a bathtub, like 20 pounds or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
angel hair might be a little bit more
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
dense.
Yeah. You're just like, go to Kroger, buy 50 boxes of angel hair pasta and 25 jars of sauce, dump it in the bathtub. And that's
see-
my final meal.
Man, that poor prison guard is like, all right, what am I going to get you, a lobster and just hand it to you? And you're like, no, fill up this bathtub
Yeah,
and pour spaghetti
I
on my
guess-
naked body.
Yeah, and then I'm swimming around in there, and then they just throw a toaster in at the end.
I like that. Question turned into how would you die? What's your ideal death scenario? To die in a bathtub of spaghetti.
Hell yeah.
being electrocuted.
My final meal is my execution.
Yep.
I like the idea of you being in the bathtub and getting into angel hair, and there's like a cop outside going, "All right, Joey, time to get out of there." And they go through, and they go to where'd Joey go? This is all angel hair now.
It's so dense, we can't find him.
Al dente.
I'd like to think you'd be fully, like, extra clothed when you get in there, and that would make people more uncomfortable somehow. This was already weird, but then he put on a turtleneck and earmuffs, and then he got in there.
Hell yeah, you don't want to get that sauce in your ears.
Yeah, dude, that's yucky.
It's only for your mouth, silly boy.
It's a flat on scuba dive.
That's a
scuba gear.
waste, getting sauce in my ears instead of my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Then you have to walk to whatever the electric chair, and there's just, like, spaghetti falling out of your pants.
That's why they just throw the toaster in at the end. It's probably nice and wet in there.
Yeah, they're thinking about it like, man, we don't want to make. He's gonna get so messy on his way to the execution
Oh, yeah.
chair. And one of the guards is like in the break room, and he looks over and he sees the toaster, and he's like, "You guys got an extension cord?"
Yeah, I mean, if it's cafeteria, school, like public school spaghetti, then it's all water, basically.
Yeah.
There's like 2 noodles in there, and you're dead.
Yeah, and you see the guy walking into with the toaster, Joe, and you're like, "I knew it would come to this. I always knew it.
Garlic
all
bre-
according
Here
to
comes
plan.
the garlic bread.
Not like this.
Not like
this."
You say, I'm ready for the garlic bread. And you start smearing garlic butter on yourself.
Okay.
And like operatic music starts playing. And
Uh-huh.
they slowly lower the toaster in.
Yep.
I can see like Joey's thumb, like in Terminator, just going into the angel hair pasta.
Well,
I now know why you prefer panini. Penne. I said
It's
panini.
pathetic.
well, now if we ever like, if I'm talking to Joey on the phone, I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just buying a lot of spaghetti tonight." I'm like, "Oh shit! Oh no! Okay." Fuck.
Not complicated moving parts, forks, twirling weapons, gathering as much spaghetti into your mouth as you can.
Spaghetti, fucking.
Oh, I like you boys a lot. I like you so much that I'm going to take you into the next segment with me. Let's go. So, boys, you know how I always put this podcast first, right? Over family, over friends, over my own well-being. It's always this podcast. Right. It's always at the front of my mind. I'm always thinking about ideas, jokes, things like that.
Right. You say, Quinn, no Elmo XLR cable.
Yeah, I'm like, give me notes. Give me notes. Am I funny? Like, you're a new generation. I need to know. I need to be able to capture this audience.
Trying to open our demographic.
Yeah.
I know you're not 2 yet, but tell me about the 90s.
Yeah,
You know?
you need to know. Yeah.
What's your hot take?
No, stop playing. Watch the Angry Beavers. I need to. Do you think this is funny? Is this anything? So, since my daughter's getting older, we're trying more and more foods, and I sometimes will admit that I'm a lazy parent. And so I was in the store and I was looking at all the canned stuff. Usually I'm buying canned corn or, canned vegetables or something to make my life a little bit easier than like we're not going to the farmer's market every day to get my child organic corn, okay? I'm too poor for that. But we were in the canned aisle and I was like, oh shit, it's time for her to hit another mark in her life, and that's to try her first can of Chef Boyardee.
Yep.
Dang.
I thought you were going to say Vienna sausage.
No, I'm not a cruel person, Joey. She'll have to discover that on her own. I won't do it to her.
What kind of Chef Boyardee?
Oh, I bought spaghetti and meatballs and the ravioli.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's a good one.
Yeah, because I was like, damn, this shit was fire when I was a kid. So I'm excited because I'm like, if she doesn't eat all this, I'm going to get in on some of this fucking Chef Boyardee because it was the best stuff when I was a kid. So I start feeding it to her, and I'm like, I don't even care if she eats it all. I'm going to have a bite now. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I want to try this. And I put that ravioli in my mouth, and guys, it's bad. It tastes
Wow,
really bad.
What? Wow.
It sucks.
That's
a plot twist.
Yeah, sucks real bad. And the spaghetti and meatballs, too. They're both bad, and I regretted it. And I still fed it to her. Because, whatever. I'm an adult with my flavor, palate
Very
is complex
sophisticated.
now. Yeah. I eat sushi, okay?
Well, let me tell you, you live long enough, your flavor palate will come back around to ravioli.
Oh, yeah, when I'm an old
you
man.
you gotta get to the roots of the taste.
Yeah.
Because when I worked construction, ate that shit all the time.
Chef Boyardee, what are your secrets?
You take the can,
Okay.
you'd set it on the hood of your truck,
Nice.
and that would warm the can
Yeah.
up, and then by lunchtime, you just pop that open.
Yeah, nope. In college, when I had a food break, I'd go to Foodland. That was like the Kroger or the
Oh, I know about
the
Foodland.
whatever, and I'd just get a cold one. Just eat that
You
shit
mean a
cold.
cold can?
God, you're sad. Your life was so sad up there, Joey.
The
Jesus
ravioli
Christ.
is better than the spaghetti for whatever reason, and the SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
I think the sauce is a little different. I know the sauce is the same. You can tell me that all you want, but it tastes a little different.
I just got the ones that had turtles or Mario Brothers on them. That's all I cared about.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
It was raviolis all day, but now it's bad. But that got me thinking about basically what I call bad nostalgia, right? Like, we have nostalgia for a lot of things in the past, the 90s, Angry Beavers, things like that. But sometimes going back and revisiting those things, you realize that you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And that stuff sucks.
Yeah.
And it's only the nostalgia that's making you do that. Remembering the good times.
Yeah, it's just the naivety of being young and stupid.
Yeah, we're becoming boomers, gang. Like, they all are like, yeah, the fucking 70s and 80s were tight when we had everything. Why can't you millennials have everything? It's not because we took it all, is it? I don't know.
Remember lead, guys? Remember we put lead in the cereal? Remember that? That was great. Bring that back.
Here's
Yeah.
a $20 bill. Go to college.
Exactly. That's all you need. You can work at the soda shop. They didn't have soda shops. in the
Soda
80s.
shops.
Fucking 50s. But yeah, so I thought today we would talk about things that we remembered being good, but when we re-experienced them, the true light of day was shown, and shown it for what it was,
Yes.
what it is, what it's always been.
That's the key phrase, I think. What it's always been.
Yeah, what it's actually always been, and your dumb brain just remembers the good times around it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, once again, just freeform style. We're going to have the conversation. Guys, who wants to tell me about something they experienced that turned out to be shit?
I'd like to kick it off because I've got something that I'm pretty sure is going to piss these Potter boys off.
Let's do it, man. Let's cause destruction.
You know what fucking sucks?
Give it to me.
Laser Blaze.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Laser tag.
Yeah, laser tag in general.
In
Kind of.
general?
I thought it was the coolest thing when I was maybe 9 years old. All that mist, the fog machines,
Hell
the
yeah,
black
hell yeah,
lights.
hell yeah.
It was sick. But I also didn't understand what was happening. Like, I was just squeezing the trigger. Like, who the fuck knows? It was all confusing. There was mirrors, you know.
Black lights going off.
Yeah, it was like it was nonsense. And then I went when I was like 15. And the veil was pulled back.
Yeah.
And like, I guess the lights were a little too bright or something. And I was it was like being in like a brightly lit strip club when no one else there.
when they turn the bar lights on.
It's like
Yeah.
everything's sticky and I'm shooting, but I can't really tell it's shooting. There's so much noise. And then you just end up standing right in front of somebody and you're both just standing there not moving. Just shooting each other. 'Cause
Yeah, 'cause
how
the
do you
music's
dodge a laser?
pulsing.
I mean, I kind of have to come to its defense because we went there for your bachelor party, Nick.
Yeah,
And I thought we had a pretty good time.
we did have a good time.
Pretty good time.
Well,
Because
at
I'm an
15, I
adult
couldn't
now.
be blitzed out of my mind or
it
whatever
was
you
like
boys were doing.
11 a.m.
Yeah, dude, we went early.
You heard what I
We
said.
were sober as fuck.
We were so sober.
Everyone was sober.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
All right. I won't call it any names.
Maybe there was like a dip in the laser blaze, and then they kind of like got some new equipment or something.
Maybe I am all for nostalgia roller coasters where it's great and then it sucks and then it's like, no, you know what? I was wrong that second time. It's still great. But
Right.
man, it was just
My
super underwhelming.
the bachelor party that I planned for Nick was basically nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to Laser Blaze, which is the local laser tag place. Then we went to, what was it called?
Malibu Jacks. It's just like an indoor kind of like fun park.
it's a
thing.
worse version of Dave and Buster's.
No, it's different because
It's different
Dave and
because it's
Buster's
got mini golf and
go-karts.
Go-karts.
And
It also has
bowling.
arcade games and bowling and stuff. But yeah, we did that stuff.
Go-karts in there?
Yep.
Yeah,
They
they were
big
One
warehouse.
time and I didn't see the
It was
go-karts. I just
sick,
went
dude.
bowling.
because they had a motherfucking boost button
Yeah,
on the go-kart.
go-karts. And you could like, yeah, it's like hitting the NOS, baby.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Yeah, I felt like Vin
I
Diesel.
missed out and now they're closed, right?
I have no idea.
Malibu Jacks? I don't know.
I don't think so. I
There
don't
was a
know.
big one, Westport Road. Now it's gone.
Oh
No,
no,
we're
we
talking about Blankenbaker, baby.
Oh.
by the main event in the Escape,
By the FBI building. Oh, no.
by the FBI building.
Yeah, so, Colin, that's totally fine that you feel that way. I feel like it totally depends on who you go with, because we went with a bunch of adults and had a really good time. If you're in there with a bunch of kids, then it sucks, because they're the
And
ones...
creepy.
Well, yeah, it's a little creepy that
Right.
you're an adult. and
You're
like,
right.
my
I shouldn't
name-
have gone by myself.
My name
that
is
second
Mulder, and your name is Krillin, or, whatever,
Yeah.
Agent Smith.
Scorpion.
But, yeah,
Really,
but-
we're getting our asses kicked out there.
But then a kid comes up to you and it's just like, and you're just, you like snipe them while they're walking down the fucking, hallway, and then they just come up and try and hit you, and you're like, no, kid.
Right.
I'm
well,
not
in my
here
case,
for your
there's
entertainment.
like
I'm here
kids.
for my entertainment.
There's kids following me who don't
Yeah.
care if they get shot or whatever. So they're just following me, and I can't push this kid out of the way. I'm not gonna like start
can't fight a
sprinting through this thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight a
It's
kid.
against the rules. The marshal will get you if you do that.
Right, and then it's like, how into this am I going to get? There's no like projectiles to see or escape from,
Right.
so you're kind of like, what am I dodging? You just feel like an idiot, like trying to be like, whoa, and like running
No,
away, and
I'm
like
taking
doing
cover,
barrel
dude.
rolls
I'm
and
being
stuff.
tactical as fuck.
Right, but that kid's still just like
Yeah.
riding your back.
Well, yeah, it depends on if you got some little shitty troll kids in there. So.
Troll
yeah.
kids.
Right.
But I agree. It's definitely not as cool because I'm an adult now, and it's not as big to me. It's just like a fucking basketball gymnasium, like half the size of a basketball gymnasium. Like
That's
it's
true.
definitely not as cool. But I
1,500
enjoyed it.
foot square like room.
Yeah.
Just
Being a
some-
tall person now, I did like see over all like the barricades.
Yeah,
I was like,
you're
this
just
isn't as cool anymore.
Right. It's definitely not made for us.
Yeah.
But I agree. That's totally fair. Who else got one for me?
I thought about this, and I thought more like in terms of movies and things that I experience and hold dearly.
Sure.
When I was a kid, one of my favorite movies of all time was Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Have
sure.
you seen Breakfast at Tiffany's recently?
As a kid, it was your favorite?
Yeah,
movie?
well, not, kid. We'll say middle school, high school, that kind of
Okay.
thing.
I haven't watched it in a long time, Corey.
It's really bad.
It's been a while, but
Been a while.
I was underwhelmed
Yeah, it's
for all the hype it had.
Well, I think Mickey Rooney is a good place to start because that's just terrible. And
Yeah,
you didn't
for sure.
and when I was a kid, I was like, oh, silly cartoons. No, it's racial prejudice.
Yeah, it's for sure.
You
You're like,
often confuse
He's
those
got
two.
chopsticks in his mouth.
Yeah.
Why?
you
Look
think
at
it's
those
silly.
glasses.
Yeah, then you realize what's really going on is some fucking racial shit.
Yeah, and then there's no real story. It's a bunch of people being assholes for the whole time, like being rich assholes, and Audrey Hepburn trying to get money from people, and George Peppard insisting he loves her, and the movie's over with.
Right.
It really
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
I was devastated. 'Cause I went to prom in high school with a look based on George Peppard in Breakfast at
Oh,
Tiffany's.
wow. What a fucking loser.
I got another movie. It's a kids movie.
Yeah.
But it is disappointing. Space Jam.
Oh, I was going to say Space Jam.
Man,
That was my next one.
Yeah.
Was that? Did you, okay.
What?
I never saw that as good in the first place.
Oh, as a kid? Hell yeah, man.
Did you see it too late?
I saw it when it came out, and I just thought it was kind of dumb.
Man, you've just always been a cynical asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, no, Space Jam's not for me. Have you guys seen Breakfast at Tiffany's?
I was watching Breakfast at Tiffany's when Space Jam came out.
But yeah, I always remember loving Space Jam. I literally have the VHS right there on my
Hell yeah.
bookshelf.
Yep.
And then when I was in college, I went to film school, so we had a theater and stuff, and we would talk about, my director would, start talking about what we're gonna watch, and I kept suggesting Space Jam.
Yeah.
To the point where he threatened to punch me. Because that's kind of my personality, where I just kind of dig at one
Space
joke.
Jam.
It's funny, not funny, not funny, not funny, funny,
Right.
funny,
Yeah.
It's the nostalgia
funny.
roller coaster.
But yeah,
I
just
remember that joke.
He said, if you suggest Space Jam, he said, if I hear you say Space Jam one more time, I'm going to climb over these seats and punch you. And I believed him.
Yeah.
He was kind of a scary guy.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then while I was in college, I found it on Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yes, yes.
And then I watched it, and I was sad. Even though I can still quote most of the movie, it was just kind of oh, this is just a trash fire like Michael Jordan commercial.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's really bad in
And
that
he's
movie.
really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super bad in that
When
movie.
people ever complain, a lot of people who complain about they might remake it usually aren't, they're going to who needs
gonna
another
ruin
remake?
it.
They're like, oh, the first one was so good. What are they going to do with LeBron? And I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I was there on that train because I was like, yeah, fuck you. No,
Right.
it was perfect.
Yeah, this is
just
my
like-
childhood.
When LeBron was early in his career, he did a lot of funny commercials, and he's been in some movies.
I'm sure he's a better
not
actor.
amazing, but he can do it.
He also probably
Michael
doesn't
Jordan.
have a gambling addiction.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
That's true.
I need to do this shitty kids movie to pay off some debts. Sell some more Jordans.
I'm gonna let
please.
Newman pick me up off the floor and just be like, oh.
How'd we get Bill Murray here?
Yeah.
He
Anything.
also had some debts.
Yeah.
Everyone was in severe debt
Yeah.
who starred in that movie.
Yeah, even Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Everyone was in
Even
it.
Bugs Bunny.
Well, Danny DeVito's like,
shit.
I'm not even going to show up. I'll just do some lines for you guys.
I mean, Space Jam did give us Lola Bunny.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It did give us the Space Jam.
Gave us furries.
It did give us the Space Jam theme, which is still solid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the best
music-
hype tracks ever.
Sam, if you wanna jam.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess it's
Everybody,
worth it
yeah.
after all.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
nobody
Do
wants
the
a-
remake. It'll be trash,
Yeah.
but it'll it'll be trash.
Yeah, it'll.
Because they won't have that track.
Yeah.
Or it will,
Oh.
but you're like, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Either
But
they
it'd be
put
like-
it in there and you're like, oh, fuck you. Or they do a new one and you're like, not as good.
Yeah, it's definitely a catch-22.
Oh, it'll
Yeah.
be like the new Ghostbusters where it's the same, but it's like Fall Out Boy does it. So it'll be like, come on and slam, yeah, if you want to jam. Yeah. I was like, what?
Seems like the job for Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, get him in there. Get him
Brandon
in the
Urie.
stewed. I got one, but to a way smaller degree.
Life.
Street Sharks.
Yeah.
Well, even like
it came on Netflix, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, Street Sharks! Here I go! I had
Man.
the toys. Here I go."
How would
10
you-
minutes into the episode, I was like, "Oof, bad."
I would even toss in TMNT, man. Like the cartoon. Like
You think the original cartoon's not
it's-
good?
I've saw it somewhat recently, and it's fine. But man, like it's pretty stupid. Like the animation's atrocious.
Yeah, the
and
animation's
stories
not
are
very
dumb,
good.
and it's just like all the turtles are kind of the same except Raphael. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know. There's an episode of that where Shredder becomes Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Remember this one?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
like he has the brain of Michelangelo and like shows up to their fucking.
Yeah, he's like eating pizza and
What's
shit. He's
up, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what is this show, man? Like,
Fun.
That sounds tight. What are you talking about?
Selling toys.
yeah, I had a lot of those toys, but yeah, Street Sharks like you.
Street
yeah.
Sharks was just
Yeah.
it was unintelligible, man. It didn't make any sense. It
Yeah,
was-
because I did what you did, where I was just like, yeah, and then I was like, I didn't even finish the first episode.
neither.
And then I was at like a party, and everybody was fucked up even,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, oh, let's watch Street Sharks. I was like, don't
do it.
It's not even like it's not even that. And then they start watching it, and then the room just kind of falls silent.
Is everyone has the same realization?
Yeah, and I was just like, see, can we turn this garbage
We're all
off?
coming down together.
Yep.
Here we go.
Jawsome.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. Yeah, Street Sharks, TMNT. Oh, another bad movie. I was a big fan of Donnie Darko when it came out. That movie sucks, man.
Yeah, it's not
that
very
movie
good.
sucks.
Yeah, I never saw
Bunch
it.
of bullshit.
I never saw it because it was just like the emo icon movie.
Yeah.
And I was trying to like buck that, and so I never watched it. And then here I am, 27, and I don't think I'm missing out.
Yeah.
Well, you might go through an emo phase in your 30s. We don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like so much annoying dialogue, especially if like you wore like a suit, like a tuxedo, and I was like, "Hey, Colin, why are you wearing that tuxedo?" And you said, "Why are you wearing that stupid human suit?" I'd murder you, just out of principle. Fucking
Yeah.
Oh, you're so smart.
So
We're all
clever.
wearing suits, huh? Get the fuck out of here!
Our suits are our personalities that we show other people.
And by the way,
Hey,
here's
you-
a plane falling on you.
Sponsored by Hot Topic.
I did have no idea that movie was about time travel.
Yeah,
No
it's
fucking clue.
it's
Oh,
very
I didn't either.
sort
Just
of
ruined it.
vaguely
Come on.
based on
You
time
know.
travel. And then
No, it's
Patrick
just about a
Swayze's a
bunny.
pedophile.
Fine, we'll just watch S. Darko together.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Starko.
Yeah, that movie's. I saw that. I think I was tripping acid with a buddy of mine, and we were watching it, and it was like one of those, like, "Oh yeah, man, this is the perfect movie." And we watched it, and I think even the acid maybe like help clear the fog and go, "Yeah, this is a bunch of bullshit." Yeah. Ah, well.
I do have, and this is kind of like, I don't really know how to describe it because it's like good and bad, like all into one.
Uh-huh.
Just Power Rangers in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me is just like the first like couple seasons like are garbage, but if I haven't mentioned it, I assume I have. I've watched it all.
Yeah.
Even to the shit they're putting out right now, and yeah, it's just like I can understand why I liked it,
Sure.
but still it's just so like how did I keep with it? Like I think it was they got me with the toys.
Yeah.
And then I could watch the toys move around on the screen.
I think so too, because even for a little bit, because when you're a kid, you're just like, you don't care about the formula and stuff. It helps your brain figure it out even. Like,
Yeah.
it's simplified for your child brain. And then you get older and you want to hold on to that because you're like, I've always liked this as long as I can remember. Like,
Yeah, because when I went
you
on
start
my
justifying and making excuses,
when
basically.
when I went on my quest to watch every episode, it was like kind of an ironic thing, you know, where it's just kind of like I'm putting myself through this, haha.
Yeah.
But I also was like curious to see like what this show really had to offer, and there's probably maybe a fourth of them that is just like, all right. I mean, it's still a kids show and
Right.
will always be.
Yeah.
But it's like I can dig this. Like it's giving me like something a little more that's not just like after school special and
Yeah.
then Japanese footage.
Sure.
But yeah, Power Rangers in general.
And really,
is
just
kind
as
of like
you
a
grow up,
back
you
and
just
forth.
start to learn the real reasons behind things, like watching that, shows that made us or whatever, toys that made us.
Yeah, toys that made us.
And watching the one on Power Rangers, you're just like, fuck, it was just made to sell me toys. And that's
Yeah.
what a lot of things are. And when you realize that the toys were the main, like, reason for it existing, that's why it's not very good, because it was just
Yeah.
about given a platform to show the kids the toys they can buy. Mm-hmm. So,
But
corporations, greed, all
The
that
best
stuff.
thing we got out of it, though, again, the music.
Yeah, we
Audience, we had a little break, and Joey played like 10 different Power Rangers theme songs into the microphone, and we jammed out.
we got pumped.
So fucking hard.
And that was just like half of them. There's like a bajillion. I had no
Right.
idea.
They're closing in on 30 seasons.
Yep.
Good for them.
All right. I've got a real quick one, and then I'm going to go a different one. Because this one, it's not like I had an epiphany years later. But basically, when I was like 11, I wanted to be Guy Fieri.
Hold on, in what way?
Okay, I didn't know who Guy Fieri was at the time, but
Okay.
I wanted frosted tips, and fuck it, I wanted bowling shirts, and I wanted bowling shirts with flames on them, and pool balls, even though I didn't play pool.
And you wanted to fucking eat at some
was
diners?
the coolest shit ever. I wanted it so bad, especially if you wear a bowling shirt, but then you don't button it up and you
Yeah.
kind of let it hang.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have super fast sunglasses on.
And especially if you had like a Hawaiian shirt with fucking dragons and fire on it.
Fuck
like,
yeah,
that
dude.
was the hottest shit.
You're a
Now,
garbage anime
did you
kid.
want to be this, and then you saw Guy Fieri, and you're like, "That's the man. That's everything
I'm
I've
sure,
always."
Or that's like, oh no, that's what I'll become.
Right. Well, basically. Eventually it was like, oh, it's a joke. But before it's like, oh, this is the hottest thing. It could
Everything I
possibly
thought
be.
was cool is really actually lame.
Right, and this is the stupid. And I hope that look never comes back. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Need more silk shirts.
Yeah, but my my
Hold on,
big
real quick side note on that. If anyone hasn't seen the Guy Fieri eats food backwards YouTube video, it's very, very gross and very
very
funny.
Okay.
watching him like put spaghetti out of his mouth onto a plate. It's
Oh,
very good.
I think you unsold me.
While the chef's like looking on with a big smile.
Yeah, just like watching a sandwich like go backwards out of his mouth into a whole sandwich. It's pretty
It's
fucking
very
funny,
good.
man.
It's very good.
So check that out, audience, if you want a good
Yeah.
time.
So my big nostalgia that was a letdown. Disneyland.
Okay.
Ooh.
I've never been.
You sound rich.
He wasn't.
I wasn't,
No,
but
no,
we did go
I just-
one time.
Yeah.
I've never
when
been.
I was a little kid.
World or land?
We went to World. I've now, as an adult, been to World and Land. I will say, for all you people who think I'm rich, I got a 1-day pass.
Oh,
And didn't buy anything.
That's nothing. Yeah,
and
you can't do
stayed
anything
in a sleazy
Disneyland.
motel.
And still paid $2,000 somehow.
It's $100 a ticket.
Yeah.
But especially Disneyland, which is smaller, those rides fucking suck. There's like nothing. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, you're just watching like puppets from the 40s. Like just, and it's just like,
Those are just the crew members who have died.
It is literally, yeah, it's
reanimated
literal
corpses of the crew
nostalgia.
member.
Like, isn't this fun? Because you saw it as a kid, and it's like these rides blow, dude. We went on. There's the it's a real mountain in Switzerland, but it's a ride. Man, what is that mountain called?
Space Mountain.
No, it
I
has a
don't-
name. It has a
I don't
cool
remember,
name.
yeah.
Oh
The
my God.
Matterhorn.
Yes, the Matterhorn.
I was just guessing. I have no
No,
fucking
that's
idea.
what it is.
Hey.
Matterhorn. It's a roller coaster, and I was like, "This is cool." When I was in Disneyland, because it's not in World, and I was like, "Oh," and it's like it's a big popular thing or whatever, nostalgia. Get on that shit. You go 5 miles an hour down that bitch, and then an old Yeti monster that's like falling apart, like breathes dirty like pond mist on you, and it's like, what? Why did I wait an hour in line for that trash?
Yeah.
I'm trying to go spend my life savings at Galaxy's Edge, though.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. Even I will say the Star Wars ride that's been at Disney World Land, maybe both of them, for like forever, since like the mid 90s, where you get into a car thing with like 40 people and then it moves around as like you fly through Hoth or whatever.
Right.
And C-3PO's there in person. Like that was still kind of tight.
All right.
Yeah.
But even that was nostalgia. Like, we rode a couple times, and by the second time, I was like, all right.
Yeah. I only went.
I'm hearing the hydraulics go.
Right.
Like, I'm ready to.
I went to Disney World as an adult with my wife's family, and I'm glad I didn't go as a child because
So your wife's daughter for a second.
No, we went with like her dad and her brother and and like his kids. It was mostly for like them, but it was a family thing, and we got a 2-day pass. And I was so hyped because I never went as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think that might be maybe worse because I had all these expectations, you know. And I don't know because it probably isn't as bad as being a kid because then you remember things better. But like I remember going on It's a Small World, guys.
Yeah, that one. It's
I
hard.
got yelled at by another parent because me and Blair were sitting in the ride and I was just like screaming about how all the dolls were terrifying and creepy and bad because you're going like a mile an hour down a little fucking dirty river and it's these old puppets that like pop up and go like, it's a small world.
Right.
And every room is more terrifying than the next. And I was just like, this fucking sucks.
And it's 25 minutes
Yeah.
long, and you're
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
oh.
Yeah, and this like mother behind me was like, "Can you stop cursing?" And like, because her kids were in the thing. And
Fair
we're just, like,
point.
in this big open, and I was like, "Yeah, fair point." But I was like, "This fucking sucks. This sucks. Why did everybody hype this?" And you stood in line for 45 minutes to get on it. And I was like, What is everybody waiting for? This is nothing. It's terrifying."
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, "Lady, your kid should be fucking scarred from this. This is terrible."
Oh, she will be. Don't worry.
It's doo-doo.
Oh, I actually hate my daughter. And she's like, "What?" And like, "Look at the dolls."
She sells some cookies, so we took her to this ride.
There's a train in Disneyland, which is like the original ride.
The original train.
Train ever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the very first
Walt Disney
locomotive.
Snowpiercer itself.
Walt Disney brought the elves in on that one, and then they took him out of the park later in the cryogenic tube. No, but it's like the original. It takes you from one side of the park to the other. I think there's like 3 stops. But if you stay on the whole thing, like in between each stop, there's like scenery, quote unquote, that you see. And there's like a tunnel that takes you back in time. And you see dinosaurs.
Uh-huh.
But all this shit's been sitting there since the 50s. And the train goes 1 mile an hour. And it's like, oh my God, this is so boring. You're like looking at an old there's a bunch of like fake deer and stuff, but they're like rotting.
Oh God.
No, but they're not. It's just like old shittily made props,
Right.
Yeah. And
Like
then
paint's chipping off them and stuff.
right, and then like old like claymation style dinosaurs that are, I mean, that look like old claymation dinosaurs. Where it's like,
Right.
is that a T-Rex or what the fuck am I looking at?
Also, I got caught every time I lit my cigarette. I got caught immediately by some super happy and friendly Disney park worker. Where I'd go over to like a corner where nobody was.
Yeah.
And I'd like light my cigarette real fast. And literally one time, in a fence, there was a small face door. I'm not kidding, guys. There was a small face door, and someone was like, "Hey, actually, you can't smoke in the park." Like, she was like super nice about it.
Oh, she has to.
Yeah.
'Cause somebody has a gun to the back of her head.
Everyone.
It's like, "Hey, there's actually designated smoking areas, located in the park. If you can put that out." And my fucking brother-in-law was like lighting cigarettes in line for rides and not getting caught.
I guess you look suspicious, man.
I guess because I went to like a part where nobody was.
Right.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
there's
it's
another
like-
masturbator.
But we're in
Oh,
line
he's
for like
only smoking.
we're in line for like the Winnie the Pooh ride. And my brother-in-law just fucking lights a cigarette and he's just smoking it. And no one's saying anything. We're like, what the fuck? So that pissed me off about what, I can't smoke around all these kids? What are you saying?
Come on.
We're outside. This is actually Walt Disney's air.
Yeah.
And there's like people in the suits. They have like little people with guns to their heads inside the suits. That way they always act nice.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say people in the sewers.
The suits.
They come up from
Yeah, the
beneath
street
and drag
sharks.
you down. Yeah, the street
Hey, no smoking. All right, see you later.
Yeah, it wasn't very fun. I'm not looking forward to taking my kid there,
Don't.
but I will.
Yeah, just don't
Look how
do it.
I turned
Take
out.
her to Harry Potter World instead.
Dude, we went to Universal Studios like on our 3rd day there because I was like, I don't want to do 3 days at Disney. I want to do one at Universal Studios.
You could smoke there.
I could. I got away with it every time because
There
the
you go.
employees don't give a fuck there. But I only rode one ride because all the lines were way too long. I rode the fucking Mummy ride, and that shit was fun.
I rode that like 6 times too.
Because it was the only, it was one of the only rides that has a single, like passenger line. You can go, if you're going with a group, you have to get in the regular line, but there's single rider lines to like fill in spaces when they have an empty space. And I walked past like 400 people and just like got right in to the thing. So I rode it 3 times in a row.
Nice.
For whatever
And it was
reason,
fucking fun, man.
yeah, when I was there, there was a line. It wasn't very long, but then towards the end of the day, there was nobody even in the regular line. So so a couple times they let us get off and then just get right back on.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is like a major theme park, and like no one cares about Brendan Fraser.
Everyone was in line for the
What a
fucking,
tragedy.
Everyone was in line for the Minions ride. I'm not
He's-
shitting you. It was brand
yeah.
new when I went.
He's in the ride. There's a
He's
video
there.
of him. Yeah, it looks like behind the scenes, like DVD commentary.
Yeah.
Video, but he's like, "Hey, thanks for enjoying the Mummy ride. Like, we're having a good time." And then you hear like a roar off screen. He's like, "Oh, I'm being pulled off screen."
It's the Scorpion King.
No, they have
Right.
a lot of that stuff. Like I did go to like they had a T2 experience,
Yeah,
which is
did
like you
that.
sit in a theater and the seats move and stuff. But then they filmed like James Cameron filmed real scenes for this ride. It's like one of those where you sit in a chair and there's a big screen, but then real actors come out. They like bust through the screen and he comes out on like a motorcycle, like the Arnold impersonator.
Sick.
And they like shoot at each other and fight and then run off. It was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Here's some spaghetti.
I will say it's interesting. Like Universal, they're like, you know what? Roller coasters are stupid. Let's just have you sit in a car while a 3D movie plays in front of you.
Because I made a mistake. The other thing that I did was I did Shrek 4D, which is the same thing where you sit and it like Shrek farts at you and like mist hits you in the face. And you're like, fun.
Did you do the Transformers ride?
No, it had a 3-hour line. The Simpsons had a 3-hour line.
That
The
was a
Harry
good
Potter
one.
thing had a 3-hour line.
Spider-Man was very good.
That was in the other park. I couldn't get to that one.
okay.
I couldn't go on the Hulk ride either. They were on the other side.
Well, let me tell you what this boy was forced to blow his savings account on both parks. Spider-Man was very good. So a lot of the rides are just you're in a car that moves on a track, but then it's on a hydraulic arm, so it can like tilt you up and then tilt you forward or tilt you
Right.
around or whatever. And then there's always like a 3D screen. Some of them you need glasses, some of them you don't, in front of you. And sometimes it sucks. It's like, oh, this is clearly a shitty movie. And
Right.
other rides like nailed it. Like you feel like somehow you don't feel like you're in it, but it's like, is this really a screen? Or this looks like fucking depth. I'm not wearing glasses. You're like, what is this? And then there's a Spider-Man one where you're like swinging with him. So every time you swung, like it would accelerate and you go up and down. And then at some point, like Doc Ock, it's like, oh no, it's Doc Ock. And he drops you. And I swear I have felt the feeling of falling backwards.
That's cool.
Because it like tilts you back and it does it so fast. You're not really falling. You know, it's probably like 5 or 10 feet. But it was like, oh my God, we're actually is there a track now? Like, I don't know. Is there a track? And then all of a sudden, and then he shoots his web and it's like, oh my God, that caught the front of the car. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, yes.
Bravo.
Yes, that was so good. Yes.
Sorry, we went off on a little bit of a theme park tangent
Nah,
there.
it's all right.
A little bit, like a third of the episode. So the N64 is pretty garbage.
Okay,
Fuck
no, right, man.
That
I
shit is
knew it. I
hard.
knew I was gonna get this shit.
I still
but it's
play it.
just a bunch of like, it's a lot of muddy graphics, and I give this console a lot of credit because it has a lot of great games on it. But that controller, so whack.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
whack.
so fucking whack.
Whatever. I mean,
Compare-
it's the first
hey,
one that had an analog stick.
I'll
dog.
compare-
I understand all of that, but you go fucking play Super Smash Brothers Melee, even a fucking 15-year-old game, and then go play the
64.
original Super Smash Brothers,
Yeah.
and it's
I mean-
just like,
That's true. But I will compare it to things that were around the original PlayStation, even shittier, muddier graphics.
Right.
And no analog stick.
I mean, both of those consoles
yeah,
is
those-
just
True.
kind of like they didn't really know what to do with 3D yet. It like again, it pushed it all forward and everything like that. But what I'm saying is, you go back to that shit, not on a fucking emulator.
Oh, for sure.
Not where it's all cleaned
I
up.
play on the real 64. But you're right. That period of gaming where they were like, let's do 3D.
Yeah.
Does
and-
anybody know how to do 3D? Nope.
Here's
Fuck no.
Gex.
Yeah. Like Sega Saturn, original PlayStation. Like maybe the end
even
of the PlayStation
even
life,
something
they
like
kind of got it together.
Like the difference between something like Super Mario 64 that was just like, oh, you can run in circle, like it's a 3D world, and then you have Crash Bandicoot where it's just like it's 2D but turn the other way.
Land on the spaghetti noodle and you won't fall.
right, but with a shitty D-pad.
But yeah, I feel like
Mario 64 though, real fast, I think holds up pretty well for a game that's 23 years old. So.
Yeah. But I'd say that something like Super Mario World holds up way better.
It does because it's not fooling around with the thing you just described. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of those it's just like, oh yeah, Pokemon Stadium,
Snap.
fuck yeah, Pokemon Snap,
Dude, I've taken showers longer than the Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Pokemon Snap. When I was in college,
$60 for a 10-minute game.
when
Yeah.
I was in college, being real sad.
Yeah.
I one night we were like, all right, let's get some liquor, let's play Pokemon Snap. This is gonna be an amazing
Oh,
night.
we're done.
Oh shit, that was 47 minutes. It's not even like we made it to the end. We took all the pictures of all the Pokemon.
Yeah, you
in
do,
like
you
45
100% it,
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, you 100% it like that. And that's
They really got us.
that's kind of what I'm talking about, or like Pokemon Stadium, where it's like you have 57 Pokemon that you could possibly use, and you don't remember that because you're thinking of Pokemon Stadium 2 that had 130. Still not the full 250.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of those games and that, I mean, just the N64 is kind of a failure. It didn't sell shit. It sold like 25 million
It did
units.
do well. It did better than the GameCube though, which was the next time. But speaking of I'll agree with on this. Talk about Mario Party. You ever played Mario Party on the 64?
Yeah.
Ever gotten that
they're
fucking
rough,
blister?
dude.
Because I did.
Yeah.
The tug of war game. We gotta do this bullshit.
You didn't send away for the special glove?
Yeah, they got gloves.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you handle that lawsuit.
I had a
Glove
friend-
fits,
yeah.
am I right?
I had a friend who did that. He got massive blisters, and then he got in on the glove, and he got a cool glove, and then he was happy for the glove. He was
The
like, I don't
glove
care
came-
about my blisters. This is a cool glove.
Yeah.
My hand will never work the same.
But yeah, that generation, I feel like, is held in a very high regard when it should and it shouldn't at the same time.
It
can
should
see
because
that.
it's pioneering, but what that
But-
becomes the faults that
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pioneering, so it was just kind of like, you know, you look at Mario 64 and it's like it can play well. Granted, I never played it because we were poor and weren't allowed to have single player games. Because
Right.
then me and
They
Nick
had
would
to-
fight over it.
Yeah, they had to
So
be
we had to
multiplayer.
have. So I played a shit ton of Smash and Mario Party, Mario Tennis, anything with actual multiplayer. Mario 64. But you go back and you look, and it's just like a flat. It's like flat textures
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's not the God King game. It just pushed it forward.
Sure.
It's kind of how I feel about Citizen Kane at the same time. I wouldn't really say anything about nostalgia there, but it's the same thing where it's like, man, that movie is so fucking boring, but man, did it do a lot for like cinema and like camera techniques and depth of field and stuff like that.
Birth of a Nation, man. That movie's fucking racist, but god damn it, it's a masterpiece.
I got one for you guys. Bad nostalgia. Life. No.
I thought you were gonna say another theme
Oh.
park.
Life, the board game, because I was going to bring that up. That Milton Bradley piece of shit. You go back and play that. Guess what? You just spin the wheel.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
just
get
kinda-
any choices.
You
Yeah.
waste time.
Yeah, that's it. It's just.
But I
make
always
it to
end
the
up with
end.
like 4 kids.
Whatever, man.
Right.
You get
Well,
a
you don't get to
thing-
pick that.
You get a
Right.
thing where you can like pick your lucky number, and then when you spin it,
Do you
somebody has to
think-
give you
Oh,
money.
that's new life.
Do you
Okay.
think that you don't
get
have
to choose-
control over your own life, Colin?
I can pull the vasectomy card and play that down before I
Every
have 8
day
kids
you
in
wake
my
up and you
minivan.
spin the wheel of decisions, and it just you have to do whatever it says.
You're
Get 4
right. That
kids
is
now.
how I live my life. I got
Yeah.
a big wheel I constructed in.
That's
the
why everyone
basement.
believes in flat Earth because it's just a big fucking board for a board game.
Candyland, same thing. Shoots and Ladders, same thing. I've gone back and played those. Like, oh, this will be a fun thing. Yeah, it's a simple game, but it'll be fun. We're drinking. We're adults. And then I was like, oh my god, it just plays itself. We don't have to. We're not doing anything.
Just watch. It's like watching a pet play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But you know what? You can make all the decisions in. That's Mall Madness.
Not really.
Sale at the Glasses Boutique. Hey, I get to choose what I buy, Joey.
You get to choose what you buy, but you know those sales are just whatever.
Yeah, you're
So
a rat
anyway,
in a-
what
you're-
I was going to talk
You're a rat in a
about,
maze, man.
something that I look back on a lot as one of the best times was the partying phase.
Okay.
Man, when I try to party now, it sucks.
I think, unfortunately for you, I don't think it's parties changing. I think it's you changing.
Oh no!
I think it's
You're not as good as you thought you
Not
were.
only you changing, it's everyone else changing as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Your ensemble just
Right. I just used to think that parties were fun, but like now I'm like, well, I'm not trying to get laid anymore, so I don't care about talking to people as much.
okay. And now everything makes sense between you and me. God damn it.
Well, also it's
Well, it's
just
just they
like
changed when everyone has to go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
that's
like I
what
said,
it is.
like a big part of it was like you're getting dressed up, you're getting ready, you're putting your game face on. I'm gonna try and get laid at this party. It's gonna be fun. Now it's just like
that's what fucking sucked about partying with you guys because by the time I came around, every single fucking person was in a committed relationship.
yeah.
Hey, more girls for you, Joey.
Yeah, man.
No, because all the girls were taken there. All of us with girlfriends didn't start inviting random girls for Joey.
Hey, you got a lady for my friend here?
But no, I'm not. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe it is just me. Partying hasn't changed, I guess.
I'm with you. I agree. I don't want to fucking go to a house
But
party.
I used to
now.
want to go to house parties, and now like I want to get as far away from them as possible.
Yeah.
They're not fun. I've been to some like in the last few years, and they're just no. Like I'd
Because
rather just
everyone's
go-
in either you have the people that like are still at house parties,
right.
you know, like that never stopped, or you have the people where it's just like I gotta work at like 10 a.m. or she's not drinking tonight because she has to work early, so
Right.
we're just kind of like chilling,
Right.
and it's like the vibe has completely changed,
Yeah.
and everything like that.
Some of the best times were parties at Corey's old house, the 522 baby.
Yeah.
I was too fucking young.
Yeah, you were too young.
I didn't allow you in. You weren't tall enough. I'm sorry.
But like it was,
I was
super
taller
cool,
than
man.
Nick
You'd
at that
show
point.
up and Corey's like in a nice like outfit. He's like, "What can I get you to drink, man?" And then he'd snap and point at you like,
I was so
boom.
good at that. I can't.
Oh, he's too old and his
Can't
fingers are
snap
brittle
anymore.
now.
I used to think snapping was good, and
He snapped too many times. And you just be like, "What can I get you to drink?" And you show up and you get a drink in your hand,
And
and
half
all
the
your
people at the party turn to dust.
Oh,
no,
it
I
was
forgot
just-
to take the glove off.
It was just the idea of like, we're gonna stay up until all night, and then we'll go into work the next morning. Fuck it, having fun, sitting out on Corey's roof, talking about life.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say I never enjoyed if I had something to do the next day. It would be like, all right, well, I'm not staying up. That's fucking stupid.
Oh, you've always been an old man, but I would
Right.
go.
No,
sit-
I mean, I'll do all night if it's like, yeah, I can sleep in the next day.
yeah.
But I often, worked my way through college like a dumb, poor boy. And
I mean,
it's
I
like
did too. I was a
Saturday,
host.
Sunday, 2 in the morning. I gotta be at work all the time.
It's true. You did have a different
Right.
schedule,
But
but
that's not even a matter of getting up. That's a matter of like, I'll be drunk
yeah,
for
I'd go
work.
from the party to work at
Yeah.
like 2 in the morning. It was miserable. I will say, Nick, that parties have changed, but I believe was it your last birthday party
Yeah.
was pretty awesome.
I got
And that,
pretty
and
drunk at
that
that
was
party.
pretty late. Your boy got ripped up at like 3 p.m. That was different. I haven't
Yeah.
done that in a long time.
Also, I kept you guys there for about 3 extra hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joey was screaming into the night. It was kind of tight.
Yeah.
it was just I was doing it. I was like, this feels like an older party that we used to have, but am I exhausted by it?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Or used to have the stamina to just go, baby.
yeah. No country for old men, indeed.
Yeah, you did. Audience Nick used to call me all the time and be like, "Hey, we're at the bar. Where are you at?" And it's like Wednesday at midnight. And it's like, what? What do you mean where I'm at? And he used to get upset with me because I wasn't partying enough with him. And so he told me one day, he was like, "Yeah, man, I just don't even know if I can invite you anymore because you just never want to roll." I was like, "I'm working like 2 jobs, dude."
Fuck
And
you,
So
fun.
I felt bad. So you know what? The next time you called me when I was laying in bed and I'd already brushed my teeth and put on my jammies, and Nick was like, "What? We're at the bar, dude. Come on out." I got my ass up out of bed, went and had beer over top of that brushed teeth breath, just for you, buddy.
Thanks.
Is that
I
worse
loved
than
it.
orange juice? I don't. Oh.
I don't know, but yeah, that's I used to guilt Colin into partying.
Right. Wake me.
Remember when you could start a night at 11 o'clock?
I never understood that. I have no nostalgia for that. I'd be mad even.
That's
like,
my
why? Why are
that's
we
my
waiting around?
present.
Because I'd fall asleep. It's like, well, what am I doing from like 5 to 11?
I'd be fucking lucky to start my night at 11 nowadays. And that's why I don't fucking party anymore, because nobody else does.
It's just weird. Because it'd be like, well, what are we going to do? I would probably just chill and watch Netflix for like 6 hours and then we'll go party. And it's like, what?
It's pre-gaming, dude.
Yeah. I always felt like I was in an alternate universe because like everyone would agree that was a good idea, and I was like the only one. Like, what the? Why don't we just go now? What the?
Can we get some dinner beforehand?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
And
think
then I'd go to bed because it'd be 6 hours of Netflix, and then Nick would call me and be like, "Get out of bed, loser. We're going shopping."
Yeah.
we're going shopping.
But yeah, it was just that point where you just wanted to hang with your boys no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That point's over.
I'm still there. That's why I'm in Joey's room right
Yeah,
now.
I want to hang with my boys no matter what. I just have these women stopping me. No.
Man, 2 balls and chains. Not really though.
Yeah, exactly.
Quinn's got those tiny brass knuckles, my first brass knuckles, and then you're like, "Hey, I'm going out to party," and she like slowly starts to work them onto her fingers.
Okay.
Oh.
More little baby bum
And then
that I'm
she starts
sorry.
to hit, She starts to hit Tickle Me Elmo. And it's like, all right, I'll be back in an hour.
How did you become like this?
Speaking of weird things with people who are too young to consent sexually,
what?
yeah, follow me. Okay?
All right.
Follow me down.
Okay.
I'll just watch. No.
You'll get it. So another movie that is, man, it's really bad, and it won an Academy Award. It won everything. Let me just posit to you this way.
Suicide Squad.
No, could you imagine? It did though. You can imagine a movie now where someone watches the scene and it's some guy filming a fucking trash bag flying around and talking about how beautiful life is because of the simplicity of that, and everyone going, "Oh yeah, that's sincere. I sincerely believe that. That's not a joke. And that's American Beauty. American Beauty is a shitty. Not ignoring the Kevin Spacey thing, which is a huge problem because especially in that movie,
Exactly.
But yeah, that movie's a bunch, kind of like Donnie Darko, a bunch of fucking conceited horseshit with assholes who just treat each other like assholes the whole time. I used to love that movie.
It was a confusing time at the turn of the century.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People were like,
1999.
we're going to get serious. The 90s are too goofy. And then we didn't know how to get serious.
No, that movie did not. It goes joking one scene to being, "Oh, but I feel really bad, and haven't we learned something?" No, not really. Not at all.
When the hero can be the dad who tried to have sex
With your daughter's friend.
Jesus
and he comes
Christ.
out as a sympathetic character.
Yeah, and he sees a picture at the end, and he's like, "Oh, man, good times."
Bang.
Dead. He's like, he's learned his lesson? Question mark. Oh man, that movie's a bunch of kind of trashy.
Yeah, I guess if we learned anything from this, that life is just kind of trash.
Yeah, a trash bag.
You
just
think
floats
that it's
around.
you think it's cool, and then you go back and relive some of it, and you're like, oh, it's all meaningless.
You go
It all
through.
sucks.
You go through your time hop and go, "Oh
Right?
man, I just looked at trash bags all the time when I was a kid."
Man, I go through my fucking time hop, and I'm like, wow, what a little fucking shitty edgelord I was for a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's bad nostalgia 100% of the time.
I deleted time hop. I'm like, I don't need to relive my cringy posts that I was like, something about being lonely or whatever it was. Like
Time hop made me eradicate half of my Facebook through high school.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, I was just looking for attention, man.
Yeah.
Someone please talk to me.
I keep mine. Stay humble.
That's why I'm like afraid to post on social media. That's why if you follow me on anything, I'm just like, maybe not. It's not good enough. I need to only have the best ideas to post, because if I just like post what I'm feeling while I look back and be like, ooh, cringy, sucks.
You don't post what you're feeling, you post what you're eating.
Yeah.
Okay? I
That-
had
I
some
guess that's my
chili. It was
problem.
very good.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, you're like, this fucking piece of shit eating chili all the time. Oh, fuck this. Why did I
Asshole.
I have
Bait.
heartburn all the time now
Yeah.
because he ate chili before.
This
Jeez.
jerk bathing in spaghetti,
That was a good memory.
posting on Instagram with his fucking champagne, about to get executed.
Oh shit.
Well, guys, it's not all sadness because, as we know, nostalgia is a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
you start out loving something, then you become an edgelord who hates it, and then you're like, that was actually pretty good, and then you revisit it and you're like, I'm not as edgy, but it kind of sucked. And then eventually you get old and you turn into a boomer, and then you love it again.
Yeah, you love everything unconditionally.
Right, and then you die, and so you die at the high point. You just make sure you don't get too old to where you're coming back down.
You got time the valleys.
Oh, time to climb in the bathtub with the spaghetti. I think everything's pretty cool right now.
The doctor says I don't have cancer, but that roller coaster's coming down. So
Someone get the toaster.
I have nostalgia cancer. So
These hair plug frosted tips were a really good idea. I'm starting to regret it. Better end it all.
Better start cooking the spaghetti. Here I go.
that's your crime.
Oh, man. Guys, it's been fun looking back at stuff we used to think was cool, but turns out it is not cool at all.
And theme parks.
And also, for some reason, theme parks.
Well,
What else am I
that's
going to get
the
my
hope.
Disneyland story out?
That's the nugget of the episode.
I
That
don't
way it's
know.
not too sad.
Episode about fucking theme parks.
Hey, man, I can't just, chain myself to things that might happen in the future.
That would be an
okay?
episode I literally don't show up for because
Yeah.
I've never. Well, I guess I've
When
been to theme parks.
I've,
Six
I
Flags.
gotta live in the moment, okay? I can't just be
Spaghetti.
pre-planning. If something comes to mind, I gotta be very real about it. This is, after all, very real talk. And if you like very real talk, go over to our website. That's vrtcast.com. That's where all of our episodes are. You can find them all, revisit everything that we've talked about, share it with your friends, your family. Just start showing them stuff. Tell them about how Joey likes to peek at the library, whatever it is. Also on that website, you can find our other podcast. That's called Very Real Tournament. That is a comedy battlecast where we pit two very real opponents against each other in a very real fight. All four of us do that podcast as well. So if you like all four of us, check that one out too. If you don't want to go to our website, that's totally fine. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. You can still check us out on all the podcasting apps. Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, CastBox. We're everywhere. Check us out. Go to those places, subscribe, rate, review. Anything you do in those terms helps us greatly. You can also hit us up on social media. Tell us about your bad nostalgia, things that you thought you liked but then revisited and turned out they were garbage. Just hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, Very Real Podcast, or you can email us at vrtcast@gmail.com. Also want to take a moment to shout out the Thumps. They're a great band. They do the music for our podcast, the wonderful stuff you hear at the beginning, the end, all those sweet transitions. You can find them on their Bandcamp. That's the thumps.bandcamp.com, or check them out on their Facebook. Go over there and like them. See what they're into or where they're playing next.
Drew, I love you.
I love you, Drew.
And
also
the rest.
Yep.
I hear you're a good guy.
I told Drew today, in fact, when he did something positive, I was going to reaffirm it with, Drew it! You're Drewing it!
Ooh.
I
think that's something you're gonna regret.
I do
Yeah.
a lot of Drew puns as well.
Yeah.
That's a mini bad nostalgia thing you just did.
All right, guys. Hopefully we look back at this podcast episode, remember that it's good, and then we listen to it, and it turns out it is good and not garbage.
I hope so too.
Yeah, me
Remember
too.
the Titans. Still a
Remember.
good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
all right.
still good. Do you want to just
hell.
keep going?
No, that's it.
Or can we end this
Denzel's
podcast?
holding it down.
Yeah.
He is. I love that movie.
Glory, perfect.
Do you want to list off his career? Can we fucking leave, Colin?
Fucking go.
John Q.
All right, guys. Let's get out of here. I'm Man on Fire.
I'm Ethan Hawke.
I'm Collin Fierri.
And I'm the taking a pill helm 1, 2, 3.
It's been real. It's been fun. But has it really? Oh, my God.
It's a T1000 model. Is liquid spaghetti.
Instead of like the metal things, it's just spaghetti.
Yeah.
That woman gets spaghettied on the phone. Have you seen the spaghetti? Chef Boyardee. I need to find him.
That's a good looking noodle you got there. Mind if I keep this picture? It's a fucking Polaroid of noodles.
Noodles. Oh.
That's what's hanging on your prison cell wall, dude.
They were like, "Oh, we thought you were goofing. You're serious about the spaghetti love." Okay.
Hasta la pasta.
Pasta la vista.
pasta- yeah, it's
Pasta la
pasta la
vista.
Hasta la vista. All right.
I kind of like Hasta La Pasta.